Hey everybody, Coach Jorge Capestany, and I got my lovely wife Marty with me. We're both coaches. In today's little video lesson, we're going to talk about a question that came to us on our website, which is like, how do you handle power? How do you adjust your swing size? So there's actually a system that's been invented called the segmented swing. It's part of System 5. It's a USPTA thing. So Marty and I are going to show you. So Marty, if you can show them a backhand, you face this way, I'll face this way. So if I simply do a turn and I take my racket all the way back, we're going to say this is all the way back, that's a 5 backswing, okay? This would be a 4, this is a 3, a 2, and a 1, and then this is point of contact. And then the end has its own things, right? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, okay? So Marty, let's just show them slow motion. This would be a 5, and slowly go to the point of contact, we stop, and then this is our follow through all the way to here, and those are the numbers, okay? So 5 backswing, 5 follow through is the potential. Now, doesn't mean that you always want to hit a 5-5. As a matter of fact, you don't, because in tennis it's a sport where we exchange the ball. So if you're my opponent and you send me a 100-mile-an-hour shot, I have to recognize that that's different than when you send me a 50-mile-an-hour shot. And what I find is that rec players don't calculate that. They just kind of say, well, I have a big cut on the ball. I prefer a large swing, so I'm just going to do that no matter what. All right, so that's going to be a problem. So the key here is that you have to have some variety in your swing sizes. So if you're by default a 5-5 swinger and that's what you prefer, that's fine. But there's going to be times where maybe the guy hits a really hard shot, or he comes in, he hits an overhead at you, where you're going to have to adjust and maybe make a 3-5, okay? So this would be like a 3 backswing and a 5 finish. Well, here's a 4 backswing and a 5 finish. Here's a 5 backswing and a 0 finish, which doesn't really happen, okay? I shouldn't really do that. Okay, so the idea of cutting down your backswing is what's going to give you time. Now, a lot of players fix this in a wrong way. So here's what will happen. The ball will come and usually hard to them, harder than average, and all of a sudden they keep their same swing and they're late. So they hit the ball back here, it doesn't feel right, they go, whoa, I'm late. So what do, Marty? They rationalize, well, I was late, so I'll just keep the same swing size, but I'll go faster. I'll get around quicker, and then I won't be late. But there's a problem. This solves the being late, but now they're getting around quicker. They got a lot more power that they're putting out, plus a lot more power coming in, and the explosion sometimes doesn't work that good. So the better option is, if you got a lot of power, just to borrow their power, okay? The best example is on the Pro Tour, when you see some really hard serves. Some of the returns that the players make on the Pro Tour are literally like a 0 or a 1 and then a 4. They don't take it back at all, but they still crush the ball. That's the big takeaway. You don't have power. The bigger the backswing generally deals with power. You know, so this is more power than this and this. So sometimes I don't need all that power, and this has more to do with directional control. So Marty, I'm going to put you through a couple of tests. I'm going to do some slow motion so you can see Marty's ability to do a 5-5, a 3-5 in various swings. So let's go do that right now. All right, so here you are. I'm going to feed Marty some balls, and you're going to watch her stroke and how she adjusts it and she changes it given the incoming ball. So Marty, initially I'm just going to lay in some rally balls, and you can probably take a full 5-5 swing here. All right, so let's watch that in slow motion. You see, Marty, that's a pretty good size. Let's freeze it right there in the furthest point back, and then there's the rest of the finish. All right, and I would call that a 5-5. But now, Marty, I'm going to actually give you a lot more power. I'm going to feed like an aggressive forehand, and I want you to cut it down a little bit, your backswing. So here's the feed. Nasty feed. Another one. Okay, another one. I'm just hitting it much harder. One more. Okay, now let's do one more. We're going to slow-mo it down. Bam. Okay, now let's put a slow motion on one of those. You can see that her backswing is definitely not as back as far as the previous one. And go ahead and clear that ball, Marty. And now I'm going to do one more. And this is like a total, we're probably talking a swing size here of a 1-3, or maybe even a 0-2. Okay, maybe I spike it at Marty. I'll do that. I'm going to spike it towards your backhand, and I wail on it, and she's just going to borrow that power. The more I do, the less she does. And it doesn't necessarily mean that she's hitting it soft. I'm giving her a ton of power, and she's just borrowing that power. Here comes major pace. Okay, one more time, major pace. Okay, just block it, boom. Okay, good. All right, so let's wrap this up. Marty, you can come on up. So really the takeaway we have for you is that we all have our favorite way of playing. A lot of people, that we coach, they have a trouble playing a power player that really hits a lot harder than normal. They always seem late and they're fixing it the wrong way. So there you have it. It's called the segmented swing. You can adjust your backswing. The more power you have coming in, the less backswing you need, and you can start borrowing their power. So good job, hon. And by the way, coaches, if you like this, or even if you're a player or a coach, we know we have both types of people watching us. We love it if you could share it and help this get out so more people can see it. And if you like it or have a thought about it, go ahead. If you're watching on the platform where you can leave a comment, go ahead and leave a comment. Give us a share if you don't mind. And if you have a question, leave it below because we always answer the questions. All right, there we have it. Coach Jorge, Coach Marty, good job.